Hey everyone, it's your girl Monica Leigh, and welcome back to another episode of the Drive Thru. If you're new to my podcast, I welcome you with open arms. And if you've been pulling up for a while, welcome back. So let's get into today's conversation because it's definitely a real topic. Today we're going to talk about confidence, but not the loud kind, not the kind that needs attention, not the kind that needs validation. I'm talking about the kind of confidence that doesn't say much. However, you still feel it anyway, because somewhere along the way, we were taught that confidence looks like being loud, being seen, and being the one in control of the room. And I'm sure anybody that is listening to this podcast right now can take a real life situation, whether it's with you or with somebody else. But that's what comes to mind when we hear that word confidence, and that's what was taught to us. But what if you're not doing that? What if you're not being loud? What if you're not being seen? Or what if you're not the one in the room that is in full control? Then maybe you're not confident? Actually, not at all. It's not true. So what is confidence then? Let's really talk about it. What is confidence? Confidence is not volume. Confidence is not performance. It's not proving yourself, convincing yourself, or constantly being seen. Although we tend to think of that's what it means. That's what it translates to, right? But let me share this with you. Real confidence is self-trust. It's waking up every morning and saying, I know who I am, even if nobody else acknowledges it today. That's confidence. It's also when things are uncertain or they appear to be uncertain, it's being steady and ready with that. Okay? It's not, I feel good all the time. It's, I trust myself even when I don't. Even when I don't. So you are focusing that on yourself instead of letting it be about someone else. Because confidence isn't built when everything is going right. It's actually the opposite. It's being built when everything is going wrong or when everything is not panning out the way that you wanted it, needed it to be. And here's where we mess it up, okay? Here's where we get it wrong. It seems like we always tend to tie our confidence to outcomes. Okay? For example, if we win, of course we feel confident. Why wouldn't you? Right? You just won. And whatever winning means to you, it's a great feeling. Whatever situation you're in and you've won, it feels good. If we lose, we question ourselves. Are we just really that bad, terrible? We don't belong here. It feels at a low point, right? Or if we get accepted by someone, somewhere, how do we feel? I mean, we feel validated, right? It means you're good enough. That's how we translate that in our mind. We are good enough. And if we don't get accepted, well, we then feel rejected. No sense of belonging. And all of these negative words just fill our mind. And now, well, guess what? Your confidence isn't yours anymore, right? Because now we're going away from what we thought confidence really meant. Because now we're so focused on it belonging to results. And I'm going to tell you that's dangerous because results change. Let me say that again. It is dangerous to define confidence belonging to results because results change and results can change on a regular basis. So, if your confidence is tied to that, it's always going to feel unstable. You're always going to feel unsure. You're always going to feel indecisive, not knowing what you should do. And all of these what ifs are going to just be sitting at the surface. So, with this being said, let's bring this into real life. Okay? So, confidence doesn't just get tested in big moments. We all know that. Confidence gets tested in every day of our lives. For example, applying to college. Now, obviously, when applying to colleges, the biggest thing is the waiting game, right? You're waiting. Oh, let's refresh our email one more time or 3 more times, just hoping and waiting some more. And then you have to walk away from your computer. A couple of days goes by, you're just constantly on the lookout on a timeline. It's so stressful. The anxiety sits in. And then the decision comes, and it's not what you wanted. Or maybe you're waitlisted. Or maybe you're watching everybody else post their acceptances while you're still trying to process yours. And that hits. And now we are comparing. Now we are trying to line ourselves up to somebody else, comparing continuously in a means to understand, well, what did they do that I didn't do? Or if I would have done something differently, maybe I wouldn't have been in this position. And now it feels personal. Then you've got all the thoughts going through your mind. Am I not good enough? Did I not do enough? What did they see or what didn't they see in me? So we're now playing the what if game, the comparison game. It is a really negative way of approaching this. And of course, it doesn't stop there, right? This also can show up in your career as well. For example, you apply for a job, and not only did you apply for that job, you know that you are very qualified for that job. You've done the work. Your portfolio, your resume, it speaks for yourself. Then you've got colleagues, you've got friends, you've got people that maybe along the lines of when you've worked in a specific field, those people can attest for you. And then when you're riding this positive wave, waiting for that yes to come through, then here comes the no. You don't get it. Or you're already in a role working hard, showing up like you normally would without having to been asked to do these things because you believe in what you do, you love what you do, and a promotion comes up. But nevertheless, they give it to someone else. And now that hits pretty hard, and it hits differently. Because now you're not just questioning the opportunity. You are now making it personal because you, in fact, are questioning yourself. Am I being overlooked? What do they have that I don't? Did I miss something? And let me be very honest. If we're not careful, we let those moments define our confidence. So I want to talk about something, and I'm going to, because we've seen this before, and I'm going to pivot on the athletic side, okay? Because there is proof in what I'm about to share with you. Let's start with Steph Curry, okay? Coming out of high school in around 2006, right? No major Division I offers. They said he was too small. Oh, and he's also too skinny. Oh, and let's not forget, he's not strong enough. But guess what? He found his home at Davidson because it was one of the only opportunities that he had. Now we fast forward. 2009, he was drafted to the NBA. And by 2011 through 2013, there were serious ankle injuries. People were questioning if he could even stay healthy, let alone become great. That weighs a lot on somebody because when you have so many people that are just staying in your ear and they're not uplifting you, but they're dismissing you and they're already assuming the type of player, not so much that you're going to be, but the type of player that you're never going to be. But the one thing about Steph is that he stayed locked in. He continued in rehab. He strengthened his body. And the key element was he was consistent. Okay? And then, boom, 2015, NBA champion. 2015 and 2016, MVP. 2016, first unanimous MVP in NBA history. But no, it didn't stop there. 2017, 2018, and 2022 earned additional championship status. He was definitely proving them wrong. So he was a 4-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, and widely considered the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. So you see what I just did there, right? We went from too small to undeniable. And you know what that is? That is what we call confidence. Let's move on. Kawhi Leonard, or AKA the Silent Assassin, drafted in 2011, traded on draft night. Never, ever a flashy player, never a loud player, but he built his game from defense first. And by 2014, Kawhi Leonard was an NBA Finals MVP. And guess what? He was still quiet and still himself. He never changed. He stayed dedicated to exactly who he had always been. Then 2017, 2018, he had a quad injury. He missed most of the season. And then there was doubt and questions, as it would be with any athlete. And not even just the athlete themselves, but how about the fan base, the coaches? Because at the end of the day, being a professional athlete is a business, right? He was then traded in 2018, 1 year in Toronto. And in 2019, he led the Raptors to their first NBA championship. Game 7. And if you know, you know, that shot, 4 bounces, no reaction, just walked off. And there you have it, a 2-time NBA champion, 2-time finals MVP. And again, what is that called? That is called confidence. Now, let's move on and switch it up a little bit. None other than Mr. Jalen Hurts. 2018 national championship game. Starting quarterback, right? And what happens? He gets benched. That moment could actually break a quarterback, and especially a starting quarterback at that. But what happened instead? He decides he transfers in 2019. He rebuilds. He refocuses. And then he was drafted in 2020. But guess what? He was still doubted. He was still doubted. And then by 2023, Super Bowl, we have a leader, not only calm, but composed. And he had the same energy regardless, whatever that outcome would have been, win or lose. And that's confidence that is rooted in identity. What about Naomi Osaka? 2018, U.S. Open champion. 2019, Australian Open champion. She was number 1 in the world. But then, pause. 2021, she steps away. And she's stepping away for something more than just chasing a championship. She is choosing to step away because she is choosing her mental health, which means she is choosing herself. And then, before you know it, you have a 4-time Grand Slam champion. What do you call it? Confidence. And last but not least, what about AZ Fudd? She arrives at UConn in 2021, one of the top recruits, very high expectations. She was this powerhouse of a college basketball player. 2022 to 23, you guessed it, injuries. And what happens with injuries? Setbacks. But guess what? She stayed grounded. She trusts the process. And I even still use that word for my own self these days. Just trust the process, even when it doesn't look like there's going to be, a outcome that is most likely to happen. You just got to trust the process. And you know what? She went on to say, I'm still her, even if it's not happening right now. And that's confidence. And as we know right now, she has completely changed the game of women's basketball. So with those examples, right, and them being athletes, let's bring it back to you. Not getting in doesn't define you. Not getting the job that you want, and more importantly, the one that is so deserving of you, guess what? It doesn't define you. You didn't get that promotion that you were so anticipating to get, knowing that you were the front runner and you were the best candidate for that promotion. It doesn't define you, because confidence isn't I always win. Confidence is I don't lose myself when I don't. Please pin that somewhere, jot it down. Confidence is I don't lose myself when I don't win. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to win everything in life. But guess what? We're not going to lose everything either. Please remember, confidence, it isn't loud, and it doesn't have to be. Let's get away from thinking that it's a one-sided way of thinking, because it's steady, And when you're steady, you're grounded, and that's important. And most importantly, it's knowing who you are without needing anybody else to confirm it. And once you understand that, you stop trying to prove yourself that it's something different, and you stop chasing validation. In the end, you just move different. And different is not a bad thing. Different is what separates you from the person on your left to the person on your right. So, if you know someone that is questioning their confidence and you think that this episode would resonate with them, please share it. As we conclude and wrap up today's episode, as always, I just want to remind you to always tune in, same place, same time. New episodes drop every Thursday Eastern Standard Time at 12 p.m. And make sure you come see me. Until then, make sure you take care of you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.